Hey there guys, it's Tina and I am back, and it is time for another car chat video. And I wanted to talk about something that has been annoying me about the makeup industry for the last year or so, specifically for 2019. 2018 was annoying as well, like we saw an uptick of releases, but 2019, I think we are freaking peaking right now with all the non-stop releases that we've been seeing from these different makeup companies. Not only non-stop releases from existing companies, but the explosion of all these new brands that are coming out, from celebrities to indie brands. Like, makeup brands are popping up left and right. Everybody is trying to get their hands in the pot. Everybody is trying to get their slice of the pie, because this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It has boomed over the last, I would say, 5 years. It has really seen an uptick in revenue. Consumers are eating it up. We are spending more and more money. And since the advent of social media with Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all these various platforms where it's all about imagery and showcasing artistry, not only that, but showcasing your lifestyle, taking selfies, makeup companies have really seen an uptick in people investing more and more in the newest craze, foundations, primers, all these products that weren't really the craze back in the day. Give it like 5 years ago, we didn't really see this craze. And I think, who said this? I think it was L'Oreal. Was it L'Oreal? One of those CEOs or one of those higher ups in one of these large makeup companies made a note of it. They noted that with the use of Instagram and Snapchat and various other photo and video sharing platforms, and the use of the filters associated with those platforms, and also with Facetune and Photoshop, they have seen an increased demand for primers, complexion products, skincare products that can give the illusion or create the illusion of these filters in real life. People are using filters, people are using Facetune, people are using Photoshop, and they're editing their photos, editing their skin, editing their makeup to make it seem like their skin is perfect. It looks almost doll-like. It looks airbrushed. It looks like it belongs in a magazine. So with that being said, more and more people are seeking out products that can help them achieve the same look in real life, because you don't want to be the one out here filtering your videos and photos and looking flawless and beat to the gods and talking about how you woke up like this, and yet when people meet you in real life, they're like, this is not the same person. What is going on? So these brands have seen that uptick in the demand for these types of products, and it's easy to sell these products with these catchphrases like filtering, smoothing effect, blurring. It's so simple now to market to the millennials with these catchphrases, even if the products don't actually deliver. It's just the sales tactics, it's marketing techniques. These are the catchphrases that get us excited, that get us purchasing these products, and the companies are aware of that. So now they're just pushing more and more products. It's the next great thing, it's the next best thing, and it's becoming non-stop at this point. Another thing that we have seen is more of a demand for color cosmetics. So we saw the craze with liquid lipsticks, right? Every single brand started coming out with liquid lipsticks because they looked great in photos. They don't transfer, they dry matte, they look amazing because you can get a crisp line. They just look really alluring in photos. So we saw an uptick in that. Remember contouring products, when we saw the spike in that? That was because all these influencers on Instagram and YouTube were doing contouring tutorials, showing you how to shape your face to create the illusion of snatched cheeks. And then highlighters, we also saw the boom. You're following the trends, right? Highlighters, you want to see that blind the gods, blind your haters kind of glow on the cheeks. Instagram popularized that. YouTube popularized that. These influencers were really selling these products, and these brands were following these trends and releasing tons and tons of highlighter products. Like, we couldn't go a month without a new highlighter product being released. And a lot of indie brands also caught onto that. The next big thing now are eyeshadow palettes. A lot of people are doing these beautiful cut crease looks. They're doing these really artistic, colorful, beautiful looks on Instagram, right? So the brands have seen that as the next trend, and they have been releasing eyeshadow palettes non-stop. It's been endless, and it's been irritating as fuck. So much so that the consumers and the influencers are kind of catching on, and instead of doing haul videos and review videos and swatch videos, more people are gravitating towards anti-hauls and anti-consumerism because we have caught on. We know what's going on now. It's all a cash grab. Everybody wants a piece of the money pie. Everybody is digging in our pockets for our little chump change or little coins and trying to grab onto the next best thing so they can get in the mix and get some of that money in this billion-dollar industry. To me, it seems like a non-stop cycle. It seems like it's endless at this point. And like I said, there has been an uptick in the releases since last year. This year, it's just been booming, and you see it from like the regular brands that you expect it from. So drugstore brands where they have that quick turnover of products, they're really cheap. It's just like fast fashion. They try to get products out and they release new collections every 5 minutes. You have certain indie brands that also follow the trends. ColourPop is the one that really springs to mind, and I think they're the one that is most visible because they release products every week. Every week there's a new palette, there's a new collection, and they're not just releasing one thing. It's multiple things, and now they have this new offshoot brand, or there may be multiple. I think there are multiple offshoot brands now where they're releasing products under those brands as well. So we're seeing like tons and tons of turnover from ColourPop. But ColourPop is not the only one that's guilty of it. I mean, let's be honest, they're really guilty of it, so much so that they themselves have shared memes where they're joking and laughing at themselves at the constant releases. It's become so normalized that we have become numb to it. Like, we don't even bat an eye anymore. Before, we would be like, are they serious? Stop with the non-stop releases. But it's become ColourPop's thing that we don't even care anymore. We know next week there's gonna be a new collection, so it's just their thing. And that is not necessarily a good thing to have, and I'll speak about that more in a minute, but I wanted to touch more on other brands. So we have Makeup Revolution, which is just as guilty as ColourPop, but I think because they're more of a UK-based brand, it's not as in our faces, it's not as well known in the US that Makeup Revolution kind of does the same thing that ColourPop does. They are releasing endless products, like non-stop palettes also. So this is nothing new, and it's not isolated to the US. Other countries are experiencing this as well. It's just this phenomenon that has come to light given the recent explosion of the beauty industry, the cosmetics industry, right? So in addition to that, you know, the cheaper brands, you have those expectations that they will just have that fast fashion turnover. But now mid-range brands, higher end brands, and even luxury brands are getting on the bandwagon. And for me, that cheapens the brand itself. And we saw this with MAC Cosmetics. MAC, I don't know, I have a long history with makeup, so I've been in this for over a decade now. I've been loving makeup, enjoying makeup, and I was around before the big boom happened. I was a part of the beauty community when it was smaller, when it was newer, when it was fresher, when there were few brands, so it was very intimate. Releases were exciting because they didn't happen every week. They didn't even happen every month, it was every season, and we got excited. There were less brands to choose from, which is a catch-22 because now we have more options. There are more innovative products, yes indeed, and there's so much more to choose from, and it is still exciting to an extent, but at this point it's become exhausting, and we're experiencing the beauty fatigue, the cosmetics fatigue. We are over it. And it all started, I believe, with MAC Cosmetics, as I mentioned. MAC used to do quarterly releases. They would have a new release for every season. So there would be a spring collection in like January, February. We would have a summer collection that would come out April, May-ish. Then we would have a fall collection, of course, and then they would have their huge holiday collection, which a lot of us got really excited about because there were fun products, fun packaging. That's when they really went for it and did the most. But those were the seasonal collections. Those were the ones that we would expect. And other brands also did those seasonal releases, but I feel like they were more spring and fall collections to go with Fashion Week, which happens again in the fall time, around this time of the year. And then they would have the early part of the year, they would have another Fashion Week. So a lot of makeup brands coincided with the Fashion Week releases because it made sense, right? Fashion and beauty. But they stepped up a little bit and started doing more holiday releases because they saw the profitability in that, because of course consumers had money during the holiday season to spend, people were seeking gifts. So then they did holiday releases. But as I said, it was usually like 4, maybe up to 6 collections, nothing crazy, and they were seasonal every few months, and we had time to get excited. On Spectral, we used to have this section where we spoke about new releases. MAC had its own section where we talked about what was coming up. And there would be sneak peeks because you would have insiders that would have the stories, like the color stories that they would release. They would have the marketing information. Those industry insiders, some of them worked for the brands. They were like sneaking out the products that were going to be released. And we would get really excited because we would hear about a collection and get like an idea of the story. And then we would speculate, like, what products are they coming out with? What are going to be the shades? Like, what colors? Like, we would say, is it going to be a lipstick, a lip gloss? Is it going to be eyeshadow? Is it going to be brown, pinks, purples, blues? Like, what are they going to go with? And we would be so excited. And there would be this anticipation and this excitement just around the name of the collection, because MAC used to name their collections. I think they still do. I think they've kept up with that. But you would have names like neo sci-fi. I remember that. And we were so excited. And then it came out with the orange packaging. But it was something to look forward to. It was something that we could save towards. It's something that we could plan for. And a lot of people, myself included, would buy the entire collection because we would have time and money to save towards that. And to just be like, all right, I'm getting everything, forget it. Or I'm getting all the pigments, or I'm getting all the blushes, I don't care. And that's what we would do. That's when it was fun and exciting. And then we would share our purchases and the swatches, and it would be so much fun, right? Now, this was years and years ago. Since then, MAC started to ramp it up with collaborations. So now they're doing smaller collections, they're doing specific collections with different influencers, different artists, different fashion designers, all kinds of different things, right? So it wasn't just theme collections anymore. Now they were doing collections with different people, influential people. So now we had more collections. And that was still kind of fun because, oh, say they were releasing a collection with Nicki Minaj or Rihanna. You were still interested and excited because these are people that you're interested in, right? And there were still fun collections, still good products. Then the influencer crowd flooded in and started taking over. Now they've done collections with beauty influencers. Patrick Starr is one of them. They've done influencer collections. Back in the day, Temptalia was a part of that, and I loved it. We were so excited for those everyday people to have collections. They did that with bloggers. That was so fun for us. And now it's just like there's an influencer collection every 5 minutes, and these people are collecting big paychecks and they're pushing these products down our throats. We have the affiliate programs that are also making them money, so those products are getting forced down our throats. There are more and more brands, more and more products, and these brands, instead of doing seasonal collections 4 or 5, now they're doing a collection every week, every month. So there's a minimum of 12 collections because they're doing it monthly. Like, what the fuck is happening? What is really happening? And I don't know if anybody else is noticing this or if the brands are aware of this, but for MAC, there has been a declined interest in their brand. And people are like, oh, they're not original anymore, they're tired or whatever. No, in fact, they're not. MAC has released some really innovative products. They have released original products. They have started the trend on some of these products that we're now going crazy about. Those multi-chrome, glitter, shifty things, they've done that. those glittery glosses, they've done that. Matte lipsticks, they've been doing that. So MAC isn't necessarily unoriginal or not creative enough. It's just that no one is really checking for them anymore. And yes, MAC has fault in that because they were releasing all these collections and the quality was subpar, especially with other brands stepping up and making better products, better and better products. The technology has evolved. MAC kind of fell to the side because they weren't moving with the program and getting the new formulations and doing what they needed to do to keep up with the trends and keep up with formulations and keep up with other brands. So it goes hand in hand. Yes, they were doing some great products. Yes, they were doing innovative, original things, but they were dropping the quality and they were doing too many releases, and people got MAC fatigue and we got exhausted and we just started to back away from MAC. I specifically was huge into collecting MAC products and it just became overwhelming and I was just like, I'm done. I can't even be bothered, you know? Another MAC release, okay, whatever, I'll see the next one. It wasn't a big rush for me anymore. It wasn't as exciting anymore. Now I don't even look at the collections, and if I do see something that excites me, I end up probably getting one product, a single product, instead of a few products from a collection. And MAC has just lost their zest for me, and I feel like a lot of these brands should take note and pay attention to what happened to MAC. MAC is still around. MAC is not going anywhere because they're a pretty large brand. They're a well-known brand. They're global, and the interest still lies in MAC products with industry professionals and of course in other countries where the selection is more limited as well. The access to certain brands is just not there. In the US, remember, we have this crazy access to products that other countries don't necessarily see. So MAC having that global reach and then having Estee Lauder as their umbrella company, they have the monetary backing. They are not gonna go under anytime soon. But other brands need to take note. These other brands that don't have that big back-end need to understand what their non-stop releases are doing to their brand. And the one that sticks out to me is Anastasia Beverly Hills. And you have probably seen, like I said, if you're immersed in the industry, you have seen the freaking non-stop releases from Anastasia Beverly Hills just in the last 6 months alone. So we're not even factoring in all of 2019 to date. I'm just talking about the last 6 months alone. Anastasia Beverly Hills has released more products in total than the complete lineup of 2018. Just think about that. In 6 months, they've released more than they ever did in 2018, a complete calendar year. And that goes to show that Anastasia Beverly Hills has been transforming as a company. And we've heard rumors of them potentially selling, seeking more investors. So obviously they need to show that their brand is very popular, that the profit margin is great, that they are booming, that they're selling products nonstop. They need to show those numbers because that is what investors look at. So there have been rumors circulating that is the reason that Anastasia Beverly Hills has been doing these non-stop releases. And I think there is some truth to that. Where there is smoke, there tends to be fire. So I think there is some truth to that they want to show these numbers to their investors, or they're trying to get more investors, or even potentially trying to sell. The funny thing is though, just this month alone, Anastasia Beverly Hills has released more eyeshadow palettes, so they're falling into the eyeshadow trend. They released more eyeshadow palettes than they did for the entirety of 2018. In 2018, I believe they released 3 eyeshadow palettes. I may be 1 or 2 off, but that's what I think it is. They released what? Sultry, Soft Glam, and Norvina were the 3 palettes that they released, because for the holiday before they had released Prism, and they also had Subculture during the year, and that was it. That was literally it. So even in the last 2 years they released what, 5, 6, maybe 7 eyeshadow palettes, and this month alone they released 3 huge pro palettes from Norvina herself. And then about a month back we had the Jackie Aina palette, and then like a month before that we had the Alyssa Edwards palette, and we had the Riviera palette earlier in the year, and they just announced the Carly Bible palette, which is releasing sometime this week. What the fuck is going on? And it seems like Anastasia Beverly Hills, and specifically Norvina herself, who is the daughter of Anastasia Beverly Hills, who is also the creative director or the brains behind the brand now with their color cosmetics. She has been on Twitter. She's very vocal about things. If you come out in the Bombaclat Road, Hustle, she has been very vocal on social media. She kind of gives us a little insight into the thought process of certain marketing strategies. She tells us what the different retailers are expecting from different brands. They're expecting smaller releases more often so they can drive sales and drive traffic into the stores, so people will potentially shop more, right? So she's given us some insight into that. But what I think people are glazing over is the fact that there always seems to be a leak with Anastasia Beverly Hills. And Norvina is very vocal about that too. Like, she's always coming out saying, oh my God, somebody leaked our photos of the new product. Now we have to push up the release date. And I'm like, but do you? Do you really though? Why do you now have to push up the release date just because the product was leaked or somebody previewed it before it was supposed to be previewed? This has happened before. This happens to other brands. This has happened to Mac. Like, we have gotten sneak peeks of Mac products months ahead of time, and they didn't release it early. They didn't feel like that was the next move, like, okay, checkmate. Like, that wasn't the next play in the book. Like, just because something is sneak peeked or leaked doesn't mean, hey, push it up, release it now. I don't get that that's the strategy that needs to be employed just because there's a leak. So she always blames leaks for releasing products back to back. And personally, I feel like it's a little bit too convenient that all her products, all these releases are leaked. How is this happening to Anastasia Beverly Hills so often, but other brands aren't seeing it? And let's be frank, Anastasia Beverly Hills may be the most popular girl at school, but she's not the only popular girl. We have Fenty. How is Fenty's products not being sneak peeked the way they are for Anastasia Beverly Hills? What is going on? Is it something that Anastasia Beverly Hills needs to work on? Their marketing team, they need to work with their retailers, they need to work with their contracts where products shouldn't be leaked, and if they're leaked, then there are repercussions, and there should be monetary repercussions where they get compensated or something. Like, what is going on? Where are the different clauses in your contracts? I don't understand what the hell is going on. And from what I gather from these leaks, they tend to be somebody releasing photos on a retailer's website early. And I'll go with the latest one because it's kind of the blueprint anyway. It's like the same thing happens all the time. So who was it? I forget the exact website, but say something like Bloomingdale's, Macy's, or Nordstrom. It's not those websites. It's another website. I forget what it was, but I think it's an international website. It's not Denims, right? I don't remember. The point is, this retailer, large retailer too, so it's not like some little mom and pop shop. It's like a Macy's or a Bloomingdale's. One of them, they released the photos and the product on their website early or too early. Right? So the promo pics were there. You could see what the palette looked like. You saw like, oh, here are the promo images and the pricing and all that. So that was the leak. Do you think that's a fucking leak? Honestly, I don't think that's a fucking leak. It's not that big a deal. Okay, so they debuted the photos early, the promo images. Okay, that's not devastating at all to a release. I don't see the impact or I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So maybe I am just clueless and ignorant as hell. And perhaps, you know what? I'll admit it. In some respects, I am obviously ignorant to the inner workings of brands. But speaking as a consumer and the one that is on the other end that is purchasing your fucking products, that was not a devastating fucking leak. So what? So now we get a sneak peek of your product and we know what's coming. And isn't that what you fucking want? Isn't that the hype you want? Who gives a shit? That doesn't mean you have to release it within a week. No, keep your original release date, since it was not meant to come out then keep the original release date. What was it gonna be? A month out? We could wait a month. It's fine. You could have started showing the promo images then. Go right ahead. Let the other products that you have released last week breathe. Let them have their time in the sun. It's okay. Like, as consumers, we can wait. Like, I think you guys are reading consumers incorrectly, and it's gonna be detrimental to your brand and your brand name. And I can't wait to see what happens, because I'm gonna sit here on the sidelines laughing my ass off. Because the Carly Bible palette, that was the one that, did I even say that? Yeah, I probably did, right? The Carly Bible palette was sneak peeked, and then Carly Bible had to do a rush video on the palette for the release, because now it's bumped up. And I'm like, why didn't Carly Bible already have a video prepared anyway? If you have a product that's finalized, they've done the promo shots, they've done the photo shoots, they've done all of this, so everything is finalized. There is nothing that you are gonna change that's gonna be different. Everything is set in fucking stone. Why didn't Carly Bible already have a video prepped? I feel like these fucking influencers take their collaborations for granted, and they do these bullshit faraway swatches, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, these people, these influencers that these brands are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars. At this point, believe it, that these people are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably even millions of dollars for these collaborations. Don't get it twisted. These people are getting paid. You're telling me that you can't get your lazy ass up. This is a collaboration. This is supposed to be big for you. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's not fucking Makeup Revolution. It's Anastasia Beverly Hills. You're telling me that you know that your palette is ready to go in like the next month or two, and you haven't started to record looks with your palette and swatch videos and like behind the scenes. Like, listen, maybe that's just me and I have a little bit more pride in shit, but I would be out here swatching my products, doing looks with them, because obviously I put so much thought and effort into it, right? So I would be out here, okay? You would have 70 looks already, because I'm gonna showcase my baby. I would have videos recorded, ready to go. My swatches would be on point. It would be high production. But then Carly Bible does this fucking last minute release video because, oh my god, it was leaked. And it's like this victim fucking mentality. It's like, why are you playing the fucking victim? Because you were ill prepared. Like, because you took a back seat and didn't give a fuck about preparing for a launch and a release. I should feel pity for you because somebody released it early. I don't give a shit. Like, I feel so fucking jaded by this whole thing. I am so annoyed, and I just don't get it. If you have a collaboration, speak to me as a beauty lover and a beauty enthusiast. If you had a collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills or with MAC or with one of these brands, wouldn't your ass be on top of that shit? Like, they already paid you hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is your job. You ain't gotta go to work over there at, you know, Dunkin' Donuts. You ain't gotta go to, does she have kids? I don't even think she has kids. Most of these influencers don't even have kids. And even if they do, they have family and they have babysitters. Like, everybody can do it. People are working moms, so they can do it. People do this shit daily. So this is your job. You literally make your own schedule. You have all this production assistance and all this fuckery, and you're telling me that you wanna have your video done, ready and prepared a long time? Long time? Hello, please and thank you very much. What the fuck are you doing over there? What are you doing in your beauty room? What are you doing while you're getting your lip injections? I don't fucking understand what's going on. I'm sure you're doing other things on the side, but you can't tell me, say, Anastasia Beverly Hills collaboration where you get your money for, you didn't spend time doing. I am pissed off, fed up, and just, I am over it. I am fucking over it. So now, Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina comes out and she's like, oh my god, my palette was leaked, let us live. You fucking can still live. The promo pictures are still there. Fucking do the marketing. Sell that shit on Instagram. Like, listen, stop the fuckery, because you're already sending out PR packages. You're already sending out the gratis packages for whoever works in Sephora and Ulta and all the other places, right? So you're already doing that. and you already have the stock at these stores. So they already have it. So why the fuck is it such a big deal that it was leaked early? Like, how early are we talking? I need somebody to give me dates. Like, how early were, like, what, tell me, when was this expected to be released? When? Next month? You could have waited. You could have waited. It's okay. We could wait a month. And if you even had to bump it up an extra week. So, all right, a month out, you can bump it up 3 weeks. Give the release date. This leak was actually working in your favor because now it's a hype. It's like, oh shit, did you see this palette? So I don't understand what you were trying to hide necessarily, because Mac used to do releases and give you previews months in advance. So what the fuck are you hiding? We saw the colors, okay, so what do you think? You wanted to just ride the hype wave, right? That is what you really, that's what you really want to say. You wanted to ride the hype wave. You wanted the instant that people saw it, they bought it and didn't have time to think about it, to process, to look at the color story, think about if they wanted it, see reviews, see swatches. No, you want it to be an instant gratification, right? Admit that shit, and that is fucked up. That's the marketing strategy, to have people impulse buy because of FOMO. They don't want to miss out on the next thing. Like, they have to grab it, right? Because it's like Pokey fucking Mon that they have to grab every fucking one instead of letting things sit and marinate. No, because you are all about the cash grab. And fuck you, Norvina and Anastasia Beverly Hills. I am pissed the fuck off, because if it was really about releasing a great product and letting consumers enjoy the fucking product and have fun with it, you wouldn't have such a big problem with a leak. It wouldn't be such a big deal because you knew it was a great product. You knew that your marketing photos and your videos and all this shit was gonna sell it because it's so great. It wouldn't be that big a deal, but you're making it out to be a big deal because you want to sell that victim narrative, because it helps to push your product even more, because people are gonna feel so sorry for you and run out and buy. I'm gonna support because it's so mean that they leaked it. Oh my god! Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, who gives a flying fuck about your fucking leaked release? And it is way too convenient that it has now become your strategy. And I feel like you guys are in cahoots with whoever the retailers are. Somebody behind the scenes is working their little magic fingers on this bullshit. Oh, it's a leak. Oh my god. It is too fucking convenient that every fucking time Anastasia Beverly Hills is gonna release something, it's leaked. How? You are not that. No, stop the fuckery. Stop the fuckery. Either you need to work behind the scenes and figure out what's going on and why your shit's always being leaked, and tighten up the fucking belt. I don't know what the fuck you need to do. Tighten that shit up. Shape up your ship. I don't know what the fuck you need to do. Clean that shit up. It's messy. Or just fucking admit that leaks benefit you. Leaks are a great way to hype up your fucking product, and you can get that cash grab because you play the victim and oh my god. Stop. We are catching on and I am fed the fuck up. I am tired. Let me pull back a bit, because Norvina seems like a really great business person. She seems to have a really great creative mind, and I love her work ethic. So I ain't even bashing Norvina. It's just in general, the idea of this big capitalist persona that is just driving me nuts, because I think Norvina as a person is actually really great, but I'ma still be like, this bitch released 3 fucking palettes, huge palettes, pro palette 1, 2, and 3, back to fucking back. Bambarasclot. First of all, Pro Palette 1 released on the back of Jackie Ina's palette, and then 1 week, a Bambarclot 1 week later. 1 week later, we have 2 new palette. What the fuck? What the fuck? And they're $60 a pop. So she ramping up prices, and no. I'm so upset and tired. And here's the hypocrite thing about it. Here is the hypocrite thing. I bought all 3 of the fucking palettes like a clown. A whole big clown. I am such a clown. I'm a real claffy, because the second palette that I released, I was like, oh shit, the blue one. I was like, oh shit, this is my jam. Like teals and greens and blues. Oh bitch, I am available for this shit. So now the completionist in me, the clown that she is feeding upon, she is preying upon my weakness. I bought all fucking, why am I yelling? Whew. Why am I yelling? I am sweating. It is not okay. I am not okay. I bought all 3 like like a clown. And this is why I'm upset, because I'm falling for the bullshit and I'm so annoyed. So really, I'm the clown bitch. I'm really the clown bitch. Now I want to come in and interject with what I think actually happened. And this is my conspiracy, my theory, allegedly. Anastasia Beverly Hills and Norvina flubbed their release schedule for 2019. I think that's what happened, because she has mentioned and hinted at production issues with her manufacturing. So I think they got screwed up by production schedules and getting products done in time for their release schedule and in time to get products into retail stores and proper stock for these different retailers. And they are now behind schedule for the year, and now they have to just release all the products back to back to back. And I think honestly that's what happened. And I'll tell you why I think this. In January there was no release from Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you go back and look at their release, there was no release since the Sultry palette for holiday. And Sultry was released what, October, November-ish, and then there was no release in January. There was also no release in December that I can think of, and I went through the releases, so I think I'm pretty accurate on that, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. But there was definitely no release in January, but there was a delayed release in February for Valentine's Day. So they had a release that was exactly on Valentine's Day, so that was late in and of itself, because if you're gonna do a Valentine's Day collection, it's usually released like a couple of weeks ahead of Valentine's Day, so people can get their hands on it and use it for Valentine's Day or give it as a gift. So for it to actually release on Valentine's Day, that was a delayed release. And I think the only reason she pushed that out was because of the heart shapes, like it fits in with Valentine's Day. So that's why she released it in February instead of holding off to release it later. And she blamed production issues for this. She blamed manufacturing for why these were being released on Valentine's Day and not ahead of time as is usual with these types of releases. So that was the second inkling to me, in addition to no releases in January. She also released 2 quads and like was it a lip gloss set or a lipstick set? I forget, but it was 2 quads, and it was in this influencer release. You could get the PR package, and there was there glasses or a fan, some accoutrement that was released as well with that collection. That didn't do so well, but I feel like that was meant to be the January release, and then you had to have the February release with the glitters, and I think there were lipsticks and lip glosses probably slated for that release as well. But somehow production and manufacturing screwed them up, so that wasn't happening. And I think that threw them off, not only with those releases, but it staggered the other releases down the line. And I think she also had production issues with these other releases, these other palettes, and so they're all now being pushed out together because of that. Because she has a release schedule, she has products on the table for 2019 that need to go out. She has these collaborations and contracts. Obviously Jackie Aina had to be a contract, Alyssa Edwards, Carly Bible, those were contractual obligations, and she probably has contractual obligations with these different retailers as well, because with Sephora there are exclusive releases that Sephora demands, and that's with most brands. Sephora demands an exclusive release. Ulta does the same thing, and so I feel like because of that she had to just push things out back to back, because production was delayed and other releases were staggered because of the delay. So I think she's not owning up to that and letting it be known that this is what's happening, and I think she's just trying to like glaze over it and just push the things out and hope it doesn't come to light. But that is my conspiracy, that she is behind and she needs to push things out, and she's just doing what she can do to friggin' push things out and pray for the best. And that's what I think's really happening, allegedly. My conspiracy. I feel like me and Norvina would be cool. Like, I feel like she is a cool ass person, and I think her brand is really great with her mom, because her mom is, I think her mom took some step back, and Norvina is doing more of a creative, you know, she's a person, and then she's doing this offshoot from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm thinking she's gonna do things under her brand, Norvina, you know, sister brand of Anastasia Beverly Hills. Because there was even, Lodges on my heart, there was even some scrunchies and like hair clips. What the fuck is that, first of all, that she's releasing? But I feel like that's what she's trying to do, and I think she's a great business mind, okay? I'm not knocking Norvina the person, I'm knocking Anastasia Beverly Hills the brand. It's such fuckery to me, because it's never about a personal attack, because I think people are people, and I think they're doing great things, but I think they are disillusioned, and I think they are taking a wrong turn because they are cheapening the Anastasia Beverly Hills brand, and that's what I think they're not realizing, and they're not learning from MAC and what happened to MAC. You're cheapening your brand, you're downplaying your brand, you're now fast fashion, you're now Forever 21, you're not at Zara level anymore, even though Zara started to do that Forever 21 shit and they just fell off too. But those brands like Chanel and Gucci and Prada, take a page out of their book. They don't release and flood the market with their products and cheapen their brand. They're still exclusive. They're still a brand that people lust after because it's exclusive. Not everybody has it, and limited edition does mean limited edition. Like, that's the kind of trend that you want to set. But if you want to put yourself in the fast fashion realm, that's fine too, because if you just want that quick cash grab and you're trying to get out the industry in the next couple of years, sell that business and move the fuck on, I'm okay with it, because you know what, business is business, capitalism is capitalism, it's the way of the world right now that we live in. So if that's your plan of action, you know what, go the fuck for it, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because if that's your angle, then I get it, but you've cheapened the brand. No one's really like vibing with you anymore, and I don't think they're really paying attention and realizing that people are sick of it. We have makeup fatigue, and we can't bother no more. We're tired. I am exhausted. So in this fucking traffic that's irritating me now, and I was screaming just now, I'ma just be like, all right, I'm done. So let me know what you guys think. My battery's also dying. It's a whole thing, all right? Let me know what you guys think. Like, I just went off on a whole rant and I yelled and stuff, but you know, it's what we do here. So let me know down below in the comments what you think, all that stuff. I will leave links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat where you should be following me along. And then until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.